Hello and welcome to the Impact Zone podcast. We are back here to talk, actually, NXT shenanigans this time because, they've gone and done it. They've gone and put basically a TNA match on a WWE pay-per-view. Now, so we were thinking about how this thing with the Knockouts title was going to go down. What was going to happen? Was it going to be at Emergence? Were they going to postpone it and be like, okay, it's going to be at Victory Road now, or was it going to be on like a random episode of TV or whatever else? Nope, it's going to be on WWE Heatwave, the NXT show. So that is official as of about like an hour ago, I think. But yes, I am a bit behind, so sorry. But like I said, there's been a lot going on, so trying to catch up now. And this won't probably come out straight away as well. So it will certainly take at least an hour to upload or whatever. But still, what have you, does not matter. Now, unfortunately, I don't really think we have much to discuss. I don't really think anything really comes of this. Like, realistically, like, in one way, like, I don't want to say in terms of there's nothing that's going to come out of this, because there certainly is going to things come out of this, but when you're thinking about, okay, what are we at doing with like Marsha and with Ash, or with the Knockouts title and JC Jane, it's like, well, JC has just really won that belt. It's no point in like having her lose the belt. Like, I don't know whether the idea is to get back to Marsha at some point. I don't know. Like, Marsha had a fairly mediocre run. Honestly, she's a really good wrestler, and she's really tough, and she's really cool in many ways. But like, the roster that they kind of just had was really thin, and so she didn't really have any, like, besides the Tessa Blanchard thing, she didn't really have any like great feuds or really great matches that much during her run. And that's how, like, even though it was fairly long, it was good 6 to 7 months or whatever it was, um, it really lacked a lot of like major like opponents. Like, mostly, like, you had like early stuff with Jordan or whatever, but then it was like, cool, but there's basically no one left on the roster that she hasn't already kind of beaten or whatever. Um, and none of them are that credible. So it's like, even if you say, oh, yes, you've got Lish here and you've got Tasha Steelz there, it's like, yeah, but that doesn't really mean a whole lot, because, like, they don't have the legitimacy to, like, especially early on, like, it's really tough early on. But, like, if you give somebody a really, like, legit opponent to start with, then it's like, yeah, but then where are you going? Like, you've got to save those legit opponents for the big shows. So again, like, it's a tough sort of path to kind of go down. So I kind of feel like, even if you're going to say, yes, let's get back to Marsha, which I don't think is really the best plan, because again, you'll find yourself in that situation of going, well, she's basically beaten everyone, and what else have we got for her to do, kind of thing, and we don't really have any more great opponents for her, and we don't have any really great stories for her, and like, she'd be better off like being like, maybe even better turning back to being a heel. Like, I don't know. That way, at least you can start saying, okay, now she's a made woman and whatnot, and all of that stuff, and now everyone's got it. Like, you tried it. Like, that's what I think the idea in some ways was like, she's legitimate, she's tough, she's a badass bitch. Like, let's try to bring everyone up to kind of that level, or bring as many people as we can up to that kind of level, which really didn't work. Like, Ash is one of those few people that I feel like would be great with the title. Like, I think JC's actually, like, in some ways, she's having kind of a good run as being the champion. But like, at a certain point, you've got to think like, well, where's this like finishing up. It's not finishing up this week. It's not finishing up next week. It's not finishing up next month. It's probably not even. It might not even be finishing up at Bound for Glory. I don't know. But again, that's where you've got to think we're at. We've got to think like, okay, maybe we'll get the TNA title back at Bound for Glory, maybe, and maybe we'll get the Knockouts title back at Bound for Glory. Who knows? But again, you know, you can't just keep saying no, we're not going to have our titles back, even though if they're still like appearing and defending on our show, it's like, well, it's our title, it should be on our wrestler in some ways, in some forms, in some fashions, even if, you know, you think, well, what, you know, that's good heat and good storytelling or whatever, you know, like, you know, you can still have good heat and good storytelling with somebody that's on your roster. And since Ash really hasn't had that belt yet, and she's had like one opportunity at winning it, I think, like, oh, well, sort of two, I guess. And this is probably technically her third, I think. You know, it's like, well, she really would like to get that rub of being like the champion, or at least on that champion, like world champion level. I think she certainly carries herself in many ways of being like on that champion level. But I do feel like you've got to find somebody to put it on. And maybe you could have Ash win like the Call Your Shot Gauntlet or something similar to that. And then she like cashes it in and then wins the title and then goes on for a 6-month run or something like that. And then you have another babyface come along and win it. So like Xia Brookside would be a great pick in that regard. Like, you know, we've already touched a lot of ground there, but it's like still, it's one of those things of saying there's a lot of history there and things like that. So, you know, trying to elevate someone younger and trying to elevate Ash to not just saying, oh, yes, we're using you as a pogo stick for this person. No, we're trying to get you over as well. We're not just trying to, you know, we're trying to get everyone over. We're trying to get as many other people over. But yeah, like, no, like, this is fine, I think, for a match, because there is a fair amount of, well, not fair amount, but there's a fair amount of build sort of starting to come along with this. So I do think that this match definitely should happen, or be happening, definitely. We already sort of talked a bit about it, but, you know, whatever. It is what it is. I don't really see them, and I don't know, I think, like, this is just after, Emergence, or a couple of weeks after Emergence. So, but yeah, like, I don't see the title changing hands. I honestly don't even, like, I can't even think of anyone, like, right now who, like, you start thinking that person could be, like, the next Knockouts champion if you're looking at for somebody that to come up and beat JC for it. It's like, they really aren't, like, they need to start crafting that. That's what they need to do. They need to have somebody not lurking, but like lurking in the background, just accumulating like singles wins and like getting to that point of being like, oh wow, they're, you know, starting to, you know, like Xia's fairly over. I don't think it should be Xia. That's just me, but like, because I think like she should win it off Ash, if anybody. But still, you need to do that with somebody. You need to find somebody that, like, you could do that thing where you did it with, like, Josh Alexander and Xia wins it and then Ash steals it and then, you know, Xia's chasing her for, like, 6 months or whatever it is, and then finally she gets it back or whatever. You know, like, you could do that, but, like, you know, I don't think that that's, like, the best plan, per se, but then again, it's like, well, I don't know what else you would exactly do, but then again, it's like really tough. Like, you could still have that idea of like, let's put it onto someone in the Knockouts division, have, you know, Ash steal it off of them effectively, and then go from there. You know, like, go back to like the familiar like things or whatever. But like with JC, I think it's a lot more difficult because she's such an outsider. So it's like there's not really a whole lot of people, like maybe Indy Hartwell's kind of floating around there, but like, I don't know. I don't really, like, I could see Indy potentially winning it, but then like, I don't really see her being like the main champion for a long period of time. I don't really like believe in it. I guess I don't know, but still, like we could wait and see, I guess. But it's just like they have done that though, so it's like, well, that is somewhat brewing, and it's not like I've forgotten about it in some way. But it's like, yeah, well, so what type thing in some ways as well. Um, but yeah, it should be a fine match. But yeah, I see somehow, some way, like, I don't know whether Fatal Influence is going to be involved. I don't know, but like, I definitely see that, JC is gonna retain it somehow by hook or by crook. And then I feel like you probably have to start thinking about putting Marsha and Ash into some sort of program together. And I feel like you could run that to Bound for Glory, but then again, I don't know. Like, that's kind of tough. You could still have like it like not fully finished or whatever at Bound for Glory. They could have a match at Victory Road or something like that, and then you have like Ash win the call your shot or whatever, and then you go from there of saying, okay, well, this isn't over between Marsha and Ash still, sort of thing. And but yet, you've still got JC, or we've got whoever won the belt at Bound for Glory, going on to do their thing, or you've got Ash to come in and steal the title. Like, it wouldn't work. Like, there'd be very few other people that are on that level of like world champion level wrestlers that are in the company right now besides Marsha. Like, you have to build up a lot of the other younger wrestlers over time, and like, yeah, it's really tough to do that when there's, you know, yeah, so much going on, and it's hard to invest in like just one person, um, or whatever else it is. So yeah, I don't know, but yeah, guys, that is like something that I thought I would have to come in on here and talk about. As I sort of say, I don't really cover, like, I didn't even really watch what happened in NXT. I'm sure it like get featured in a highlight package, and I don't know whether I want to watch this or not. Like, that's where I'm at. I'm like, I've never really watched any WWE like shows really for the last like 20 odd years or something. I don't even know. But like, when you've got something like this, it's like, well, I don't know. But still, like, you might think, oh well, it's nothing's gonna happen. But I guess I do like to see some good fashioned wrestling here. So, but yeah, I still don't know, because like, I don't even know how much it is. So, and do I really want to sign up, or uh, all that stuff, all those shenanigans, just to freaking watch this one match or whatever it is? Maybe I'll just see the highlights or whatever anyway on Twitter or on Facebook or on YouTube or whatever. So yeah, whatever, I guess. But that is it for this one, I think, for today. Hopefully not too much more coming along too quickly. Because again, I don't really do news or whatever. But this is something that I just saw, and I was like, oh, better talk about this, because, it's going to happen, and people are going to go, well, I wonder what's happening there, or what have you, or whatnot. So, these are my thoughts on what's happening, what's going down, what's going on. Like, if you're looking at the landscape again, sort of sitting back and going, okay, well, like, even if you're thinking like, oh yeah, they're probably not going to make a title change yet. Okay, so where's this leading? Okay, this is leading something between Ash and Marsha, maybe, which really won't end until like maybe even after Bound for Glory, or a few months into the run or whatever it is, because you'd want to keep Marsha around as one of those strong baby faces or whatever, former champions. And she, like, it's not to say that she can't win it again, but I would say, like, for now, let's sort of like keep her on the back foot, or keep her on another like level, or just keep her at that like that higher level, because like that's what you kind of need. You kind of need like one side of being like heels and one side of being babyface. You need both of those things. You need to elevate as many people as possible, so you need to have as many people, like 2 or 3 on each side, and then you need, like, once you build up somebody else with one of those people, like if Ash is your other top heel besides like JC Jane, then you need another top babyface. So you need to build somebody up to being like on that level of being like the same level as Marsha is on the babyface side. Then you need to do that again the same way on the heel side to build somebody else up onto that, like, place there alongside, maybe. And again, JC, we don't know how long she's sticking around, so again, you actually need to build even another person more than that. But still, like, having 3 big time like baby faces and 3 big time heels is like where you kind of want to be at, because then you have any number of those 3 big time heels, or even more, to go up against throughout the year, and yet you still have a whole bunch of like fairly decent baby faces for them to go up against. And yet, like, same for the heels, like you still have a bunch of like more moderate heels or baby faces for them to go up against. And then it's like, oh, okay, here's the 3 or 4 big bads, like, or whatever it is. But yeah, anyway, guys, I hope you have enjoyed this one and my ramblings here, and I hope you'll join me again in another one.